who led the team to 2 Super Bowl appearances, bringing home 1 Super Bowl championship. And then there's future Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers. First in the Soule family was Timmy. Not even 2 years later came Dami. 2 Soule sisters trying to leave their mark here at Bakersfield Christian. You were expected to see a lot of competitors or wannabe athletes. Of course, the stands were going to be packed with lots of fans, but most importantly, KHSD was going to introduce its newest sport. It wasn't an easy road to 11-0, and as Miguel is set to face his newest opponent, it won't get any easier. How do you feel with these issues brought to the table? Kern County can take a step forward in making sure that there is more equality, especially with that divide we're feeling right now with police force and people of color. You want to know something interesting? So the Lakers got a championship already this year, earlier this month. The last time both LA teams, the Lakers and Dodgers, won in the same year was back in 1988. How do you get your guys to not think about it too much, but kind of make that improvement from behind the arc?
Well, first of all, if I could, I would bottle that up. Yeah. And I would sell it.
Jumping from team to team and taking over head coaching roles, what is that like, and how can you explain that tradition of coaching here in Kern County?
I think it's pretty unique.
When you're driving in normal streets, are you going speed limit, or are you always pushing the pedal?
I'm usually about 10 miles.
Unfortunately, it's not the same energy or atmosphere that we saw 2 years ago when the Connors were in the playoffs. That's thanks to the pandemic, of course, but we have seen fans lining up to get in there for the game. The Los Angeles Angels were hosting their first home series since the passing of pitcher Tyler Skaggs. And especially on Friday, no one could have scripted a better game to honor their forever Angel. Many storylines in this game as the Bakersfield Drillers are set to take on the Garces Rams. And of course, that starts off with head coach of the Rams, Paul Gola, who spent 14 years over at BHS, very successful years there. Who thinks they're faster than me? Me! A lot of confidence. All right, can you let me get a little head start? Just a little bit. Woo! Okay, lost my breath for sure. You guys are quick. Reports coming out that Rodgers has lost his love for Green Bay, but of course we all know that love is still there with Jordan Love. One of Bakersfield's own, DJ Reed, who happens to play defensive back and is a special teamer for the 49ers, is looking to make his own legacy. Could the Vikings stall the Stars' momentum? Well, let's get to all of the highlights. Oh, I did it too. On the outskirts of Bakersfield, near Lamont, and surrounded by farms, you'll likely find Alex Cuevas. As your eyes catch the lines etched into these fields, this athlete is usually running along his own.
I mean, I kind of felt a connection with it, and once I came into high school and I tried it out, a lot of stuff you got to learn to not only be good, but learn from like failures, and I've always kind of liked running and winning.
Learning to win was never an issue.
In 2016, his freshman year, we have never won a Valley championship before that. And then since he's been here, we have won 3 and a state championship.
Something I just never forget. I'll always be proud of being part of any championship we got.
Ridgeview's cross-country coach Greg Dabbs knows just how important Alex is to the team.
Very competitive and determined. You can't replace someone like Alex.
But the team almost had to.
My mom was driving. I was sitting in the front passenger seat, and my little sister was sitting right behind me.
On August 14th, 2017, Alex's sophomore year of high school, he and his family were involved in a serious car accident caused by a red light runner. A memory never too far from his mind.
I kind of just remember hearing like some loud screeching noise from tires, like when you slam on the brakes. And kind of after that, I'm not really too aware of what happened, but I do know that a semi-truck ended up hitting us on the driver's side. I had fractured my left eye socket, and I do know I had a few small fractures on the back of my skull. My hips were kind of messed up. I can remember it pretty clear. Talking to the doctor, hey, I'm in cross country, when will I be back? Right when I was told you may not even be able to run again, it might be too much, I kind of just felt my heart drop in a way because of the strong feelings I feel when I run.
It was here at the intersection of Panama Road and Union Avenue where the accident occurred, leaving Alex and his mom Tomasa with injuries they both have to overcome for months. A spot that should have marked the end of Alex's running career instead marked the beginning of his road to recovery.
It was a really hard process trying to get back to where I used to be, even as close as I can to I used to be.
It was the sport he was fighting to return to that ultimately got him through his biggest adversity.
Everyone kind of has the way they see things or the way they handle things, but that honestly really helped me try and get away from all those negative thoughts through the process, and I mean, it helped me overcome it. So I'm really thankful for it.
Grateful for a tragedy that he was able to turn into success, as the Ridgeview cross country team would win the school's first ever state title a year after his return.
Life is so unpredictable and you can't control these things, and he's bounced back and adjusted from this. You know, it's just been a miracle to watch this.
Alex finished his senior season with another Valley championship and, of course, a few more medals to hang on the walls at home. He will soon graduate from Ridgeview amid uncertainty with the COVID-19 pandemic, although he's already committed to run for UC Davis next season.
It means everything to me. Now, you know, that I have another opportunity to continue my running and at a bigger level now. You know, it's just a matter of seeing what the future holds for me and, you know, hopefully making my family proud and continue having all my success.
He's already brought pride to more than one family.
He's been a great role model and leader of our team, and he's part of the pack forever.
While many thoughts may run through someone's mind who has been through as much as Alex has at such a young age, there's one quote that seems to align with his journey.
God will never take anything away from you without the intentions of replacing it with something better.
Possibly a greater appreciation for the sport that gives him life. For 23 ABC Sports, I'm Kari Osep, connecting you. Here's that story about how the love for the game has created an even deeper connection. Last week at the Pro Player Academy of Baseball in Bakersfield, there were big smiles, kind words, and some tears shared.
I can't see no more.
As Kennedy senior Frankie Ruiz signed his national letter of intent to play baseball at Blackburn College, a D3 program in Illinois.
I just think it's a blessing because not a lot of people make it past the high school baseball, and I want to take it as far as I can.
Along with his trainer Bill Gentry and many friends and family, fellow Delano native and Cesar Chavez senior Juliana Tabian shared the moment.
We're setting examples for the town that both female and male are capable of going far, and no matter your size, your strength, where you come, money, your background, you can do it as long as you put your heart and soul into it.
She signed to play D1 softball at Jackson State back in November. A special moment for both athletes eager to represent their families and community at the next level.
I was doubted a lot as a kid, and because I was always the smallest on the team. And it just shows that even being the smallest person, if you work the hardest, you could go somewhere.
You can tell that these two have a lot in common. A love for a sport played on a diamond, along with big smiles, big dreams, and big hearts.
I know it was Frankie's moment, but for him to be able to share that moment with me, it was just amazing. I thought it was pretty cool that we got to do it together, you know, the power couple.
And she's not just talking about the power at the plate. Not only do they both love the game they play, but also each other.
She's just so motivating as a person, and she just brings happiness to everyone. And she's just a good person all around, and her family too.
I think it was truly his heart that made me fall in love.
A friendship that started around the game, Frankie asked Juliana to be his girlfriend.
Actually, one of my friends told me, he goes, "You wanted a softball girl? There's a girl at CC that's pretty legit." And so it went from there.
Well, it went with the baseball and an important Bible verse.
So it says Corinthians 13:4-8, and that is one of my favorite verses. It is, "Love is patient, love is kind," and I think that just fits us perfectly.
Love can also remain competitive too.
I think we're always trying to one up each other.
She's always like, "Oh, you suck," or "Hit the ball farther." So it's that's the little boost that you need sometimes.
And when you ask who throws harder,
Me.
On a good day, she does. Yeah, she is. She is.
even as a catcher, Frankie would have never guessed that his biggest catch would be a softball pitcher who shared his love for the game and for God.
When we feel like we're falling apart, God is there putting the pieces back together and healing us together and keeping us on the right track.
Amen.
In his name, amen.
You'd be hard-pressed not to root for those two. And now both of them will begin their senior seasons in baseball and softball starting next week, and they'll make sure to soak up all this time together before they head out for college in the fall. Lacrosse, fast, intense,
Good job, D.
exciting. So I wanted to give it a try, and who better to learn from than one of the best teams in the country? In Penn State, let me practice with them. I know my form looks bad, right? I know. I'm like, I'm done, right? And that was just the warm-up. Now it's time to learn a few stick skills. Got the basics, then comes the tricks.
And you gotta get your arm up.
Yeah.
And out.
Now
like,
go
get your arms
on.
away from your body.
These are legit lacrosse players, you can tell. I don't fit in. But now it's time to move on to shooting. And they make it look so easy, right? Woo! Help me!
First you don't succeed, maybe try something that's slightly illegal but still works.
Got it? Yes, Coach Doherty is referring to me.
Probably can't do the thing where you grab the ball with your hand and just throw it in with your hand.
So I didn't do great with offensive drills. Maybe I can try some defense?
Wait.
I don't even know who has the ball. Woo! Kind of losing track of the ball. What do you guys, like the speed of the game, how do you introduce yourself to that, especially on defense?
Honestly, point with one finger where the ball is, or like use your stick and point with the ball, and then your other hand's where the girl is.
Get in there,
Okay.
you know, work
Got
hard,
it.
make things happen. Right?
Okay, thanks, Coach. I guess I'm ready to scrimmage. Ooh, there we go, there we go. And did I mention how big this field is? I think that was my man. I like do one run and I'm like, okay.
Hard.
Yeah.
We also condition a lot, so.
I know, we can tell, it's great. Oh, gosh. The once an athlete, always an athlete principle didn't apply here, but there's one thing I have to do before retiring my stick and goggles, at least for Brett and Jordan. And I'm gonna score for you guys. Maybe. Time to ask for some help. You know what you're doing.
Put your arms like this,
Okay.
right? And you're gonna step and just follow through.
Placement over power.
Need some work, but maybe there's a spot for me on the team.
We want to explore that danger aspect of, you know, the shots and the ground ball pickups with one hand. But once we get those dangerous things done with, I think, you know, you're definitely a great prospect for
Okay,
us.
okay. You guys heard it here. I'll be on the team next year, but thank you so much. I
No problem.
appreciate
It's
it.
great to have you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3. Champions!
The future Nittany Lion, Kari Osep, is signing off.